Good morning, Year 2. Today we are going to look at ordering length. But as usual, before we start, we've got our anchor to warm us up. So we've got 4 questions and the clock, okay? So if you want to pause the video now and work it out, and then come back to me and I will go through how I would work it out. Okay, question 1. How many cubes long is the crayon? So you just need to work out where the crayon ends, which is here. So I'm going to mark that on here. So it ends here. How many cubes long is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the crayon is 5 cubes long. What fraction of the shape is shaded? So remembering from last week, the first thing you need to do is work out how many parts you've got for your denominator. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's out of 4. How many parts are shaded? Remembering the shading is the coloured parts, not the white parts. So there's 1, 2, 3 blue parts. So it is 3/4 shaded of the shape. How many sides does a hexagon have? Hexagon has 6 sides. And then number 4, what is 1 more than 23? So counting on 1 more than 23 would be 24. And then looking at the clock in the top corner, it is showing 5 o'clock. Okay, so put these representations in ascending order. Now we need to know that ascending, this word here, means from smallest to biggest, okay? So I'm just going to write a little reminder. Smallest to biggest, okay? So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting my numbers in order from smallest to biggest. But what I need to do is work out what each of these representations are showing as a number. So I will do the first one, then I want you to pause and work out what each number is, and then come back and we'll put them into order. So for this one here, you've got a tens and a ones column. In the tens column, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, and in the ones, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the number is 46. So now I want you to pause the video, work out these 3 representations, try and put them in order, and come back and see if you are correct. Okay, so for the counters, you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. So you've got 58. Looking at the Numicon, I know that this is a tens frame, so I've got 10, 20, 30. So 3 in my tens column, and 1, 2, 3 ones, so 3 in my ones column. And then lastly, looking at the Deans, you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So that's a 7 in the tens column, and then 1, 2 in the ones column. So now we need to put them in order, in ascending order. And my reminder is that that means smallest to biggest. So I need to look at the tens column to help me with this. So I'm going to highlight the tens column in each of the numbers. Okay, just to help me. That's the number I'm focusing on now. So the smallest out of those is 33. So I'm going to put 33 here. Then I'm going to ignore 33 and look at the 3 numbers I've got left. Now, which is the smallest out of these 3? It's 46. Look at the last 2 you've got left. Which is smaller, a 5 or a 7? And it's the 5, so 58. And then lastly, 72. So here are my representations in ascending order. Now we need to order these lengths from longest to shortest. The easiest thing to do here, because 3 of them are already written as numbers and 1 is written as words, is to write the 1 as words in numbers. So I know that 1 metre is written like this and 5 centimetres like this. So it is 1 metre, 5 centimetres. But I also know that there are 100 centimetres in a metre, and 100 add 5 is 105. So now they're all in centimetres. Okay, and I'm going this time longest to shortest. So which is the longest length? I need to find the biggest number. So the biggest is 1 metre and 5 centimetres. So I'm going to pop that there. The next biggest, I'm going to cross that out actually because that will help me. The next biggest is 64 centimetres. And then I'm going to cross that out. The next biggest is 46 centimetres. And then lastly, the shortest length is 11 centimetres. Okay. These toy vehicles have been ordered by their length from shortest to longest. The important information there is shortest to longest. Using the table, tick where the aeroplane should be. Okay, so here are the vehicles and here's the information. We need to tick somewhere here where the aeroplane should be. So we know that the police car is 56 centimetres, the ambulance is 65 and the bus is 87 centimetres. The aeroplane is 1 metre and 15 centimetres. To help me, I'm just going to write that in centimetres completely. So I know that there are 100 centimetres in a metre, and add my 15 centimetres is 115 centimetres. So where does that need to go? That's the biggest length. So really the aeroplane needs to be at the end. So I would tick here with a really squiggly tick, I do apologise. And that's where the aeroplane would go because it is the longest toy vehicle. Okay, so then what you need to do is we've got some aliens. These aliens have been placed in order of height from tallest to shortest. So that's the biggest number to the smallest number. Okay, so they've all got a name dependent on their amount of eyes. So we've got 2 eyes, 3 eyes, 4 eyes, 6 eyes. Okay, so we've got to match the toy to its height, and they are in height order here. So who is the tallest alien? It's 2 eyes. So 2 eyes is the tallest. So which is the biggest measurement? It's 1 metre and something because I know that 1 metre is 100 centimetres and 35 is bigger than 2. So 2 eyes is 1 metre and 35 centimetres. We've then got 6 eyes. So 6 eyes is the next tallest. So is the next tallest going to be the one that starts in 1 metre or one that doesn't? It's got to be the one that starts with 1 metre because we're still over 100 centimetres. So it's 1 metre and 2 centimetres. Now we've got 4 eyes. 4 eyes is either 65 or 45 centimetres tall. And we know that it's tallest to shortest, so it needs to be the bigger one of the two, which is 65 centimetres, which means 3 eyes is 45 centimetres. Okay, so bronze, your challenge today, you've got some questions on your bronze sheet. You've got to order the lengths for question 1. You've got a true or false question for question 2. You've got to tick just like we did with the toy vehicles for these 2 questions. And then you've got to complete this by looking at which of these 4 numbers fits in this greater than, less than statement box, okay? Silver, you've got questions 1 and 2 on the silver and gold sheet. However, I'd like you to try and do gold as well today, seeing as there are only 2 questions, okay? So you've got to measure the crayons and see who has the shortest, who has the longest. And then for this one, you've got to measure Dora's crayon and then tell me why Whitney is wrong. Gold, you are only doing questions 3 and 4, so I'd like you to maybe have a go at 2 or 3 of the questions on platinum as well today, please. So what you've got to do is choose, it says choose 5 objects from your classroom, but just like the other day, we don't mean classroom, we mean house. And then you're going to say how you could estimate which will be the longest, and then you're going to use your centimetre ruler that you've got in your home learning pack to measure the length of the objects to the nearest centimetre, okay? And then fill in the table. You're then going to write your objects in order of lengths, starting with the shortest. And then you are going to do question 4, which is all about these buildings. You've got to draw a picture and put them in order, and then order them underneath from tallest to shortest. And platinum, you have got to match the toy to its length, just like we've done with the aliens. You have then got to use the symbol to order the statements, and there have been some vegetables and some flowers, and you've got to convince me whether Henry and Cassie are correct. As usual, if you've got any questions, just email and we will help you as much as we can. And I will be back tomorrow with your Friday maths lesson.